And the Wealthy Teacher Show is brought to you by the Philanthropreneur Foundation, building capacity of nonprofits through education, awareness, and resources. Also, Las Vegas Health and Fitness Chamber of Commerce, vegashealthfitnesschamber.com. Also by Pet Club 24/7, a pet lifestyle. Find it at drdance.petclub247.com. And then the Philanthropreneur Foundation Training Center at 3011 Rigel Avenue, Las Vegas 89102, where we present Nuts and Bolts Nonprofit Training every first Tuesday. Funding Fundamentals with Linda Lizakowski, Advanced Certified Fundraising Executive. Our Lunch and Learn series every second Thursday at 11:30. And finally, Philanthropreneur Peer Circle, first Monday of every month. Okay, we're continuing this conversation about events because there's so many different layers. And once again, I'm welcoming back our guest, Evelyn Ramos. This is like part 2. This is now really sort of digging deep in what is the best event for your particular organization. Yeah, it's fun to say, oh, I love doing this and I love going to fun runs and walks because, I like exercise. But we have to step back a minute now. We have to look at what is the organization about. And it's not about the cause. It's how many people are there? Do you have volunteers? What is the bandwidth? And that means, do you have the resources to do that particular event? So you were mentioning some things that they need to think about for these different events. So what would be just 3 things that first they need to start with before they even start planning an event?
Well, the first item will be, what is the purpose of the event? What are they trying to accomplish by putting an event together? And then what kind of resources they have. And that's not only money, but what kind of, how many volunteers they have. In addition to volunteers, how many other people can they bring to assist?
Yes.
Do they have the capacity of hiring an event planner, or is someone on board already on the organization able to do that? And the third thing is the time. How much time do we have? And be extremely realistic about that. It's very important to have the correct amount of time to put this together so that it works, right? So those are, I think, the top 3 items that they need to think about. And step away from the wish list, because you might have to step down from what you want to do and be more realistic after you look at these 3 items.
Right. And many times we approach events with what our own passion is, what we. Well, oh, I'd love to do a so-and-so. And it's not really about it's about what is the organization capable, what's their mission, and what's the goal. And you'll probably hear that as an ongoing theme from us today. It was very interesting because, you know me, I'm always doing my research. But I found some great research on capacity building of the nonprofits in relationship to events. And they really went in depth and looked at for small, medium, or large events, organizations, what are the best events for those different levels? What events have been bringing back the highest cost per dollar raised for the different events? And there were actually some startling information or statistics, all this data and things, and how many things were really falling through the gaps or through the cracks for these organizations. But 1% or number that I really found interesting is that according to the group Nonprofit Research Collaborative, event fundraising is quite popular. 82% of nonprofits host galas, golf tournaments, competitive races, and other types of events to amass contribution and raise awareness of causes. However, even though 82% do that, most of them aren't successful because they don't do it. They don't have the bandwidth, the capacity to do those types of events. And so especially the golf tournaments and the big galas, and even if you're doing a citywide run, you need massive
Yes.
amounts of volunteers
Yes.
already on board. You just can't call them up the week before. Oh, can you show up
Correct.
and help me with this
Correct.
event? For I mean, because we both were sort of at the Springs Reserve together.
Yes.
You were actually doing events there, and they did a big run there. They probably had 100 volunteers.
Correct. And in addition to staff,
Yeah.
people who were employed at the preserve. Yes, it's very important once again to look at your resources, and that's not only your budget, is the people that you have, the donors that you have. Can they assist you in putting
Right.
this event together? Are they willing to put this event together for you? And all those items before you decide on what type of event to do. And again, I say that again, you might have to step down from your wish list and adjust your expectations.
Yeah.
You might want to put on a gala, but again, 82% of nonprofits do that. So you might want to do something different,
Yeah.
right?
Stand out. Be
Stand
unique.
out, be unique,
Yeah.
and if what is the purpose of
Of a gala.
the event? You
Yeah.
know, if no one knows that you exist, if you haven't done awareness events, why are you putting together a gala?
Yeah.
So again, time is very crucial before you decide on what you're going
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah, and most galas, from just a historical perspective, are held to honor a certain person,
Correct.
either in their sector or a special donor. It usually has a purpose to honor or recognize someone in the community. But yet, if you can't get people into that facility, it's sort of embarrassing.
Yes.
You know, many organizations, well, we'll go to the corporate sector and ask them to buy a table. Corporate sector is not buying tables anymore.
No, they're not.
They want a return on investment. They want to see what will that money return. And so then it goes into the level of sponsorship benefits. You have to even change the language of how you're
Right.
approaching them, especially in this day and age. But getting back to this research that I found really interesting, they had 5 key findings, and I really want our audience to hear what these
All right.
findings. But then I want us to add our own 2 cents to it.
Perfect. I'm going to read from you.
Yeah. So the first finding, respondents say fun runs and walks are the easiest event to plan, generating moderate to high revenue for nonprofits of all sizes.
Well, I don't know if they're the easiest events to plan. I am thinking, as a planner, liability issues. So
Yep.
you need waivers. You know, where are you going to do this run? Then you have to, if you're going to close down a few streets in the city,
City permits and
you need
police.
city permits and you need police. So are you big enough to do this? So it sounds great and it sounds like a lot of fun, but there's a lot of moving
Maybe
parts.
that's why they put the word fun run,
Run,
to,
yes.
to sort of brainwash you that, oh yeah, we're really going to have fun doing this.
And
Yeah.
you would certainly, but maybe if this is your first year of doing an event, maybe you can't do a fun run. Maybe if you're in Vegas, for example, you get a group together on a Sunday and you go do a hike at Red
Yeah.
Rock. You know, it doesn't require that much support from
Yeah.
the community, from your volunteers, anything like
So
that.
what I'm hearing is sort of build momentum to see how many of
Correct.
your followers are interested in this fun run. Start small. Say, hey, let's meet you at the park and do
Let's
something,
get together.
and then evolve as to how that might grow. It's a
Correct.
really great idea.
And you were talking about the galas before. We're not saying you can't have a gala, but usually it's to honor someone. So if you are just 1 year into business, who do you have to honor yet? You
Right.
really don't have anybody to honor. So maybe that's a goal for the third year
Yeah.
that you're in business. So again, step down from your wish list a little bit, step back from it, and be realistic.
Yeah. Great insight. I hope you're taking notes out there. The teacher in me is telling you to take some
Take
notes.
notes.
Okay, number 2, small nonprofits are at a disadvantage compared to larger nonprofits. Respondents say the upfront investment for an event is a strain on resources. That's sort of
Kind of a downer, huh?
It is a downer, but it's sort of obvious. But once again, consider what is the event. You have mentioned a couple times you don't need a lot of resources up front in order to start doing
No.
events.
You have to be creative and get, like they say, get out of the box,
Yeah.
right? It's not only galas and fun runs and golf tournaments.
Oh.
There's a lot of things you can do. So you have to be creative. Again, involve everyone in the organization, put their thinking cap on, and think about events they have heard of, events they've been to, and just be creative. Creativity is important here.
Yeah, and one word I want to throw out to the sector is collaboration.
Correct.
You don't have to go it alone.
I was going to say. Yeah.
You can collaborate with another nonprofit
Yes.
that might have some more experience.
Yes.
And everyone is so afraid of the competition. Oh my God, they're going to. Okay, but there are nonprofits that align
Correct.
with what you're trying to do, that you can come together and create a stronger force.
Definitely.
And by pooling your resources, your brand awareness is still getting out there. You're still getting the same impact with half of the resources because you're sharing it. And so you really, that thinking out of the box, who are some nonprofits out there that would benefit from the services that you provide?
Correct.
And you would benefit, and go out and talk to them.
Yes.
And see what you can
Yes.
do.
Yes.
I love collaborations and even the whole concept of philanthropreneur. We're a nonprofit to support other nonprofits. And every event that we have done to this day, and we're celebrating 5 years in September.
Yes,
Oh, I'm sorry.
congratulations.
Don't let me. Calm down.
It's coming up, and we're already
Yeah.
thinking about what are we going to do.
Yeah, so, but it has been us as an entity collaborating and supporting with education, awareness, and resources other nonprofits. And our Nonprofit Awareness Expo that we did for 3 years straight, the first year was called Impact Learning.
Yes.
Nobody likes to learn. But no, but the Nonprofit Awareness Expo, that's what it was. It was a collaboration of bringing on other nonprofits to build their awareness, bringing in resources for them. So it does work. It really does work. And we're going to get back to that format. So, I mean, I'm really excited that that's going to.
If you're serving the same population, if your nonprofit is for dog rescue, how many other organizations are out there that do the same thing? So reach out, collaborate, and think outside of the box.
Dog-a-thon.
Yes.
No.
Well, they have history. If they've been in place longer than you, they have history. They can tell you what events have worked for them and which events have not. And they will extend a hand and help you out. You don't have to do it alone.
No, you're not an island, and that's it's part of the branding or message when I do the Philanthropreneur Peer Circle, where I'm inviting folks in. Come first Monday, kicking off the week, kicking off the month. Come talk about your challenges. We're here to help you, and I have other nonprofits in the room. Might be a collaboration sitting right in that room. So that was another plug. First Monday, Philanthropreneur Peer Circle, first thing in the morning. So you get in, get out, go back to work. Great information so far. Okay, looking at number 3. On average, a-thons, like Amerithons, events have the lowest cost per dollar raised, and they call that the CPDR, and thus are suitable for all nonprofits. Concerts have the highest cost per dollar raised, requiring a larger budget.
Yes.
That's sort of obvious, I did the unfundraiser. Remember a couple years ago when I did the
Yes, I do.
where
Creativity. Very creative.
So you would spend, coming to my gala or the Philanthropreneur's Gala, $100 on a dress. How about just donate it and sit home in your jammies and watch TV and eat popcorn? And we designated a date, and so it was called our unfundraiser. Spend the money you would buy that gown or rent that tux or all the dressing up you would do, and just donate it directly to us so we can do our work. So that's a way of thinking outside the box. There are so many a-thons, back in I hate to say back in the day, but back in the day, sock hops were dance-a-thons. Well, it stands to reason that's what I was thinking of because I was a dance teacher. But we had dance-a-thon, music-a-thons. To you, do you like a-thons? Just the type of event?
I just think it's so common, you know. And again, it depends on the size of the organization. I wouldn't recommend something like that or a concert, which you say has the highest
Yeah.
cost. Excuse me, to a nonprofit that's just starting out. It's just. It sounds great, but you got to think about all the pieces that go to put that together. It's high cost, all the techie
Oh,
that's
yes.
involved, the audiovisual and all that.
And generally, well, especially here in Vegas, because we do have so many stages and entertainers and things, there's even an organization that they do Dark Mondays, and the entertainment or the entertainers, the artists, actually donate their services on that Monday to do different things. So it's depending also on what region you live in. You need some water?
Yes.
Okay, reach for that. I'll just keep talking. I had, frankly, have never thought of doing a concert because of the overhead. Who's going to pay the artists? Who's going to pay if they want pay? Or who's going to actually, the cost of, because we are union here, we have to have and do the stage, the lighting and all of that, so you're going to be okay. So it's interesting that a-thons come up because we have heard them so much, but they aren't really that effective for a nonprofit. Seems easy to do, but then with these, how are you achieving your goals? I participated in one where the students went out, oh, I'm going to be in this dance-a-thon. Will you donate $2 to me? So yes, they went out and did all of that. So all of the work was on the participants, but do you have participants? I'll go into like dance studios because that's what I'm familiar with. They have a platform of students. They have a database where they naturally can say to their students, we're doing a dance-a-thon. Would you go out and get your friends, family, and connections to give $2 per line? And so it becomes the nonprofit is not really doing the work, it's their constituents. And unless you have that database or those types of resources, people, the a-thons really don't work for even small nonprofits. So that's just interesting that they're listing things that sound easy to do, but still have drawbacks if they're not thought out. It doesn't cost anything to do it. You need space, especially if you're doing a dance. You need a space where you turn on some music and they just keep on dancing.
Right.
But there's other types. So those are some of the things. So let's move on to number 4. The cost per dollar raised. Number of new donors and number of attendees are the most popular metrics to measure event success. Used by 83% of nonprofits, 80% and 75% of responded respectively. What all of that is really saying is most nonprofits are looking at or using their purpose or goal to get new donors, and basically all that is awareness. Their marketing. Their marketing has to be on target, though, in order for that person to convert. I'm using business terms. What is the conversion rate of your awareness? They're looking at the cost per dollar raised. That's an okay metric, but also if you per se, let's say 1,000 people showed up, but only five people don't. I'm going real low here.
Yes.
But those 5 people each gave $5,000.
That's a big ROI.
It's a good ROI, and it's all based on how strong did you build that relationship. And so those are additional things you need to think about when you're looking at these numbers. Metrics, yes, it's easy to count how many people walk through the door. It's easy to count, well, this is what we spent, and this is how much we made. What they forget in those metrics, what was the staff hours, even if they're volunteers.
Right.
Volunteer in the world of nonprofits when you're doing your in-kind budget line items. A volunteer technically is worth about $15.73 per hour. Whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Yes.
that can add up if you
Yes.
are saying, okay, well, I had a volunteer come in working on this event for 6 months. You're looking at quite a
So
price tag.
you have to keep track of all that.
Yeah.
It's not only about the number of new donors you
Yeah.
acquire. It's not only about the people that attended, the number of people who attended the event.
Yeah.
But you have to keep track of everything else, every cost. And volunteers are not free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because if you abuse your volunteers, they're not coming back. So
Yep.
that's a resource that you lose.
Yep.
So, and this is information that you gather at the end. You do your after conference
Yes.
debriefing
Yep.
and get all that information, so you know the value of your event. Okay, to the
Event
last
assessment.
cent, event
Absol-
assessment, and then you use that history to grow your next event. So again, we go back to the wish list
Yep.
and reality.
Yep.
You don't have to start really big. Just get creative, start small, and you grow. And the most important thing is to keep track of all this
and
information.
I guess that's why I'm really attracted to this phrase, cost per dollar, the cost,
The
of
cost per
that
dollar
dollar
raised.
raised,
Yes, very
not
important.
profit and loss, not this is what we spent and this is what we brought in, because that's not really reflective of what really went into that event. And so that's probably why I just did a deep dive into this research, because they
It's
were
important.
Yeah, they were using terms that I think will turn that light bulb on for the nonprofits when they're thinking about events. Okay, what is the cost to that organization? And it doesn't always have to be dollars. Did it cost you enthusiasm from your volunteers? Did it
Yes.
cost you that a board member quit?
Yes.
Stress, overworking them, just too much on their plate. Those are important factors that you have to put under the umbrella of cost. What did it cost the organization?
Correct.
So I guess that's why I keep coming back to that.
It's important. It's
yeah.
an important point.
And so then, number 5 is respondents say that software, and you've sort of alluded to this, including fundraising and event management application, speeds up event performance analysis and improves experience for both staff and attendees.
Yes.
I think there's an underusage of software.
There's a lot of fear.
Yeah. I have to
Yes.
do what?
Yes. There's a learning curve.
Yep.
There is the people who are not used to technology and are afraid of it. So it goes back to the basics, right? If you are going to need software, if you're going to have to delve into the technical side of things, how much time do you have to learn this?
Yep.
How many people have to learn it? But at the end of the day, it's what is necessary because it makes your life easier. It's easier for you to gather data,
Yeah.
and data is important for you to continue to grow.
And the thing about it, we say software, but there's actually so many platforms out there that
Correct.
can, just ticket sales. That ticket sale, it sets the price, it handles all of the registrations.
Yes.
It keeps the database of all their
Yes.
email and their names.
Very
You can
helpful.
you can put into what you want to capture: address, phone number,
Yes.
company. You can add all of that to a lot of the ticket sales platforms, and you're not paying for upfront costs. You're only paying when someone actually buys buys a ticket. So there's no out-of-pocket cost
Correct.
for the organization. And I often tell, well, use the platforms that are out there. There's tons of them. Ticket Leap, Brown Bag,
Yes,
Eventbrite. There all tons of them that they're looking for to support you. And even many of them, if you're a nonprofit, will give you a discount
Yes.
on the ticket costs. And so that one small item solves several several of the tasks that you need to be doing. Data capturing. Okay, because we will talk more about it. it gets you a data list of everyone who signed up for it, no matter what ticket level they purchased on. Even if you're doing a free event, make them register for it.
Yes, absolutely. Why not? You are capturing data, and I just have to say, it's not really hard to learn.
Yeah.
And it brings me back to that original point of the timing. This is why you need time to plan events, because there's so many elements there that can really help you. But if you're in a rush to put this together, you're not going to be able to make use of them. So time is your friend when planning an event.
Yeah, and take that burden off of you. Just give yourself enough time. If you want to do an event, fantastic.
Yes.
But not tomorrow.
Not tomorrow, not 30 days from today either.
If you're thinking about a fall event, you should have started planning last 2 months ago or so.
Well, last fall, ideally.
Ideally. Especially as a nonprofit if you're going after sponsorships.
Correct.
Those corporations, those businesses, they set yearly budgets. If you don't get into and talk to them when they're setting the budget for the next year, you're out
of luck.
Yeah, you're out of luck. And so you really have to think of 12, 18, 24 months out for sponsorships, but also that gives you a benefit when what you have to offer, because you're giving them a much longer shelf life of exposure. Their logo will be on that event and all of the marketing you do for at least 12, 9 months, an extended period, and that's a benefit to them. So anything else that might be popping? I mean, I have page after page. I want to invite, if you want this report, I did download it. You can email me, drvictoriaboyd@gmail.com. Real simple, no dots, no dashes, just Dr. Victoria Boyd @gmail. And I will send you a report with some of my personal comments. But this is a great report that was eye-opening for me, that I'm going to move forward in putting together some more data, might even end up with a class on it.
Great.
Yeah, so I'm seeing this as a platform, this whole event, because, as I say, 82% of nonprofits feel events are important. So let's help them have immensely successful events. Once again, I want you to go to A Taste of Neon, and that's where you find all of the information that Evelyn has about what you can do here in Las Vegas. But it's also a resource of just information and ideas and things that you can find anywhere you are in the world, because hopefully I have an audience that is coming from everywhere. But this information, nonprofits are everywhere. So stay and keep listening, because there's going to be more articles, more blogs. I'm really thinking about a book on event planning, which
for nonprofits.
For nonprofits, yes, with a lot of these details, really breaking it down, taking it from vision to execution, and that good old funnel again.
And I like the report because, once again, it brings me back to the issue of time. Timing is important. It's the basics of, you need time to put all these elements together in order to have a successful event, in order not to be stressed out and enjoy your event, in order to find someone that you can trust to help you plan the event, whether you hire someone like myself or you have someone on your board that's going to take on this burden voluntarily. Give them your trust, give them time to help you and put something together very well.
So I think on the Philanthropreneur and the Wealthy Teacher pages on Facebook, I'm going to put a survey out there and gather some, I don't want to call it event nightmares, but challenges. Some of the challenges that some of the nonprofits that are tuning in to this. But I want to hear from the field to see where they're thinking, what has been their greatest challenge, and then maybe we can address that in future shows or in the book.
Yes.
Did we just commit to writing the book?
I think we did.
Okay. Once again, this has been a very valuable show from the Wealthy Teacher Show, and I'm Dr. Victoria Boyd, and we will see you next time. Have a great day. Bye-bye.